incapacitate different stakeholders. Now they have actually launched, or rather brought in a second division. We know that they have got one of the dominating leagues in the country, but now they have got a B division where teams that are not able to compete at the highest level, they can also compete at the B division. This is a month of May. The month of May is a special month for the Eswatini Athletic Association, where they host their national championships. Preps have started. This is past weekend, where we're looking at some of the athletes that will be competing during the national championships at the end of this month. They were in second edition of Preps, so we'll touch on how the preparations are going, and the athletes themselves, we'll get a chance to hear from them and hear how they are preparing. Otherwise, football related issues as a country, we're not looking so good outside to the international counterparts. As you can see, one of our biggest our biggest Maracana Stadium has been actually rejected by CAF, red carded, should I say so. Still not approved, still not allowed to host international competition. We'll talk about that and what does it mean for teams like Sihlangu and also clubs that will be representing the country next season in the CAF competitions. M10 Premier League entered Day 26, midweek actions for teams that did not get a chance to finish their games midweek. Of course, Tabangulu Kelly's, Tabangulu Kelly's Bawaneswaros, just to highlight that Highlanders had a chance, of course, to get closer to log leaders, Royal Leopard, but Marandi Chiefs also came to the party and hold them. All that is going to be live here on Eswatini TV. Later on, I'll be joined by our in-house analyst, Temidlalo Dlamini, just to look at how his weekend with activities was. In the company of different two clubs, coming from two clubs, handball clubs. They are already in the studio. Ndabanika thuba ukuthi basivusele basichaze ukuthi bacama kumaphi amacembu. Ngicela nguwe Bandile. Sikhuluma nabantu ocama kuyiphethe.
Sanibona mabukela emakhaya nawo Fabrice kunjani?
Yes.
Yes, ngibandile ngadlamini Sibongo ngiqhamuka e-Olympic Africa handball team.
Yes, Olympia Africa handball team. Ngosi kuhle kubona. Sifike kuwephuthi ligama nesibongo nalokuthi siqhamuka kuyiphi, uqhamuka kuyiphi team.
Sanibona nibabukele emakhaya. Ligama lami ngimangaliso ngakamzebele.
Yes.
Ngiqhamuka kaManzini ngidlalela i-Flas handball team.
Flas handball team. Yebo. Ngosi ngiqale kuwe ukuthi you are familiar face nasikhuluma ngema sports ubase lapha vele Olympia Africa lobamba labakade kakhulu bayathanda ukubona khona nje la Olympia Africa udlala ama sports lahlukahlukene sikhuluma bo handball bo tennis bo skip roping tech ball singabara nje abemaningi. Seyibuye handball, one of your favorite sport, udlala Olympia Africa as one of lama dominating players. Just give us lesifombe nje ukuthi engabe kubuya kwa sport kini badlali kusho ukuthini spirit sithini anibuka ukuthi for the longest time 2 years bekuthi sport bekuthi handball nyalo sesibuye over the weekend bekhona nemidlalo engabe kunjani kini team spirit emkhathini wenu?
Sijabule kakhulu ukuthi i-handball bize yabuya bazivulela. Sibona ngekunombolo kule weekend lesuka kiyo lokuthi bantu bonke vele bebasayilambela i-handball. Baba nalomdlandla ukuthi bafike nabe ema-groundini bete kutojoyina abadlali. Ngisho nalabanye bebafisile bakhonile kufika kutobona ukuthi yini le handball. Nawe besolo sikhuluma nge-handball.
Engabe Ngosi kuwe mhlawumbe nje wake wathiwa ithuba ukuthi udlale even at the highest level usho ukuthi kumele live. Engabe do you think sinalo ithuba ukuthi siphinde sibone i-handball iba active kangaka nje for the next maybe few months noma kutaba khona nje tournament yinye kuphele 3 months ukanze ukuthi nje solokude sponsor yini etsingekako vele ukuthi niphinze nidlale nje ngale ndlela benijwayele ngayo?
Lesishoda ngako ka handball lekho sponsors, shoda ngema sponsors. Siyazama lapha nalapho khanza usiyahlanganisa loyo 50 rand uhlanganise khanza usinemphathi uyakunika leyo madlana usenihlanganise nithenga ama medal ngenxa yokuthi uthanza lo mdlalo. Lokuthi uthenga uhlanganise lokuthi kuphumelele lo mdlalo wakho.
Okay. Yes. Mzebela ngawukhohle nawe nje kuwe nje as a team nanibuya naku announce nje asisinaku announce ukuthi senibuye kudlala nje ngobona le standard sinjani the spirit nje emacenjini injani yona nawubuka Mangaliso?
No, eqinisweni la lonke nje i-handball nyalo ibuye ngemidlandla lemkhulu le nombolo lebe khona kule last tournament esibenayo kuleli viki lelipheliye phinze naleli lesuka kilo inombolo yebadlali ibe iningi kakhulu nebamfu lebatobukela, so ngisho ukuthi i-COVID somehow isisitile ngandlela tsite.
Senama fans Mangaliso sebayakhona kunibukela.
Ngisho kona phela ukuthi ema fans nje semanengi because kule COVID sibenako naloku khona ku advertiser because bese socializer kakhulu. Be socializela ini kakhulu, be socializela naloku marketa le sport ismarketa ukuthi because most of people abathi nalokuthi i-handball yini. Maybe ngachaza kancane nje ukuthi i-handball ngayichaza ukuthi ihlanganisa tipoti letimbili, ngasho ukuthi ihlanganisa i-basketball usho ibhola yetandla phinze ihlanganise i-soccer, but la ka soccer ke ihlanganisa ngalokuthi inalama pala ngathi ayisoccer because yona kusuka la phasi khala ushone phasi nje ibhola yathinza khona Rafaela uyakujaja, so akuhlangani ngalapho ngesoccer,
opposite of isoccer,
opposite of isoccer, so ngalana kubuya ngani ngetandla buya ukuthi ibhanjiswa ngetandla, so it's like basketball. So ngiyongithi ihlanganisa isoccer nebasketball, ihlanganisa ngalokuthi ka basketball idlala ngetandla, isoccer kunalamabhali kuvimbe bokhipha lapha. So bamfu bayijabulele kubuya kwe handball kakhulu, siboneke ngale dinombolo letenyukile. Yes.
Ngosi nabuya kulethi thumbe, but ngiyathi ukuthi kule sport so nesikhathi ngosi ukuthi indzawo yekudlalela, I think kwake kwavela nje ukuthi Olympia Africa before maybe singakhuluma indzawo tifana nabo Bosco nabo Zakhele, but nasikhuluma ngema facilities the sport sona sime kanjani, akhona yini ama facilities la enough? Cha ngitselo kukhika kakhulu ngilama phali vele ngoba ungakhona ukusebenzisa any field, ngisho ne field ye tennis, but ufuneka nje vele lamaphali. Tindzawo vele in terms of kudlala kona kime kanjani?
Tindzawo la cishe ngisho ngithi around bo Manzini nalobamba labo sinato tindzawo, but unfortunately letinye tindzawo like bo Siphofaneni bo Big Band vele lapho kude letindzawo tincane, lokho sikhaza usi vele basebenzisa ground lebhola, lokho sibakhola lokujima pheze sibe ne challenge emapali, lokho sivele kude emapali.
Okay, Mangaliso, ukudlala nje wena i-handball nje kusinika nje isithumbu ucaleni and nawutibuka nje as a player, fine kwanyalo udlala at club level, nawutibuka as a player ufise kufika kuyiphi level?
Okay, kuqala kwami ukudlala ibasketball awazi i-handball, yes, awazi. Okay, ngidale kakhulu nebasketball before ngingene kakhulu handball, ngidlala kakhulu ibasketball, then ngase ngithanda i-handball, ngangena ngathi ishice handball. So kuqala kwami ukudlala i-handball, I think it was 2019, bekutoba ne tournament letophuma, bekunemngane nami bengidlala naye bengifunda naye high school, bekaye one of the tournament, I think it was 2014 in Zambia. So letindzaba bekangicocela tona akabuya lena nekuthi i-handball i-sport lesilula kanjani, ungasifunza within an hour ngabe sosifunzile sosathi nje kuzidlala, which is kwangenda kwangifakela umdlandla ukuthi le sport lesi kanti sport bani lesi. Then ngahamba one day ngayosibukela, ngathi ngisibukela kwaba na coach which is mina bengimpita nga coach by then kanti bekum president wale sport, which is Muzi, not Muzi, it is Sihle Mavuso.
Yes,
Sihle Mavuso is the president of the sport. What I man ngene ngekhaza sodlale le sport leso utasibamba masinyane, ngathi vele ngathi ngazidlala lo 20 minutes 30 minutes ngabe ngesibambile because ima rules ayo ebasketball akahluki kanjalo. Awu ngakhole ekhazi ngazidlala, wathi uyadikuthini, come and join us for a national team, we are preparing for a national team leto hamba yodlala yosimele Zambia. Vele ngathi khanza ngihambe ngayomelela live.
So that's one of your biggest achievement,
that one,
usimele at the highest level national team.
Yes. And unfortunately ngabuya ke ngathi ngibuye ekhaya ku national team, ngakhona ke ngavula i-team which is iflas nje yavulwa ngimi kaManzini, we lokho ke lokwanginika umdlandla lokho sathi asibuya eZambia kwaba ne coaching course yes leyabaka lobamba nakamanzini na profile ngai attender which is asipokela ukuthi liyasida ukuthi sivule ema team around the country.
All right.
Yes.
Dlamini ngita kuwe, I think now you have been at the highest level such as ufike kule level yakudlala le national team. I-achievement noma singakhuluma ukuthi it was not maybe where you wanted to reach, you still going to reach there. I-achievement lenkulu so far uyachievile since wadlala i-handball. Ngiphi ongasichazela yona?
Kushoka lawo sinami ngile nga represent i-country. Ngaye Zambia.
South Africa.
I wasn't in South Africa.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Zambia, yes.
Yes, Zambia, I forgotten was it 2018?
2019.
2019.
Competition?
It was 2019.
IHF.
IHF.
International Handball.
Handball competition.
Yes.
Okay. So you handball ke both of you ndawubuta umbuto nje for uqale wena mangaliso ugcine wena ngosi ukuthi seyibuyile nje nyalo. Nasikhuluma ngehandball nyalo. Sikhuluma nje tindzaba tema sponsors maybe nini ngeke nikone ukuthi phevura but nifise ukuthi as players when they get in the remaining maybe singathi in 6 months ukuthi kuphela umnyaka nibe ma competition anganani ukuze ukuthi at least lizinga lenu liphindze liphakame ikakhulu kathi nikone sina sifike ku national team nikone ukudlala kahle sifiso senu sithini kulesikhathi lesele ukuthi kuphela umnyaka mangaliso
sifiso ukuthi kuphela umnyaka not pheze ukuthi kuphela umnyaka because we are preparing for a tournament leyo dlala eZimbabwe for a national team nyalo nga June kune national team lefuna iphume yomelela live wapha team so lesingaqela esiveni nabo bonke bamvu labathanza ihandball especially lama facilities. We have facilities around the country la faka lapha eMvasi kuMathapha nalamanye lamanyenti but asikhoni kudlala khona most of the time because kufuna sibhalete incwadi sifuna sibhadalele le venue so singacela emaswatini namahle ukuthi ngicela asupporte amane azidlalise kulawo ma facilities because asifika ngeshare sikhanza ukuthi badlalela endlini sina sikadayile zivame kudlalela lapho yabona kanti nama facilities lawo la kangwana akhona but asikhona ukufinyelela kiwo so singacela Eswatini ukuthi basite ukuthi sikhone ukudlalela kulawo ma facilities lawo bakhone nekusponsorisha naloko lebasponsorisha especially emabhola especially emapali.
Because kuwe before unetithombe ufuna usitibuke ukuthi lapha sibusisi kunabo bani le team lesibuka ko on the screen
like
any specific play any specific player you're picking maybe mangaliso anyone you're picking from the team?
Okay, this is a team yaseSpofani unfortunately I team lentsha lefika kwa handball beyiqala kudlala ihandball kule weekend lena so most of them are players
that's you in the corner in the black
yeah, that's me on the corner.
Not so coach.
No, I wasn't a coach. I was actually refereeing the tournament.
Also now nama paper nje
refereeing and coaching.
Okay.
Yes.
Nala nje
yeah, that's Olympic Africa under 17.
Under 17.
Yes.
So when ugu senior team.
Yes.
This is under 17.
Yeah, my masters.
Under 17.
Yes, my under 17.
Okay, the uniform shows very good Olympia Africa. But lo sagcineni nje on the left side of the screen ngathi under 10 angibuka nje le height.
The lokuthi site lama under 10 yena una 12.
Na 12.
So sendela ukuthi mase bakhulile laba njengoba ubona lo weqeni kwamangaliswa ngawusena semtsadlanyana. Sendela ukuthi maka shift angena kulaba labatsala. Lo laba labancane bangene bavale esikhala.
But le umbuka nje amncane kangaka he was a key player of lama under 17 bekadlala mbamba which is kuze wathi umphathi lo siyasambeni naye siyomfaka ku national team
ngoba mangaliso nangibuka iheight yakho kule sithombe la egcineni kule screen ngibukene nesinye sithombe la egcineni kule screen height vele kukhona umehluko kuyidlala ininzima kule sport ukuthi be either umfishane khona ukuzuza na umfishane nasomutse khona ukuzuza kule sport.
Wonke umuntu la kule sport une position yakhe la idlala.
Yes.
Unenzima yakhe la idlala. Shokala usungaba mutse but khanza usilokuthi bakho 7 elikhona lo mfisha lotho ufika endlule eceleni kwakho.
Okay.
so ngeke siyadzingana.
Yes, kusidani, yeah. Now, before I let you go now, what singathini in Shenan the competition over the weekend nandla i-message lesingasho ukuthi nandla nitkanse nikusiphi isigaba?
Lana sikhonile kwecala nje sikhonile kuseletha i-national team bamlaba stokhona kuba coacha till size siyodlala ngalo June siyodlala eZimbabwe. Yes, khonile ku-achieve lokho nje la tournament lena. Sikhonile kuseletha lama under 17 nema under 20. Lato khona kusimelela kule level then sikhona kwacecesha till size siyodlala.
Alright.
Lokonyela sikubukile ukuthi kudzingakala manje noma sende sort of league.
Yes,
league yethu stokhona ukuthi njalo makunema games outside. Singabe solo sibita abantu for one day tournament. Lokho sesiyakhetha khona lapho. Sibe sathi ukuthi okay. Sine league yethu. Siyacala siyabuka labadlali lesibafunako. Nekuthi once wabangetulu kwa 20 ka handball kusho ukuthi awusakhona vele kuhamba kuyomelela live.
Okay.
Ngenxa yokuthi vele ka IHF bafuna ama under 17 bafuna nema under 20.
Okay.
So wabangale bese awusakhona ukuchubeka.
Alright.
So maybe le league ingagcina izivule letindlela. Thina lesibadzala ema masters ne plus.
Yeah, you with the masters. Before we let you go, Mangaliso, I appreciating the fact ukuthi udlala sport uyakhona kuba coach futhi unawo amaphepha coach uphinze wenombembe.
Yes.
You are a 3-in-1, you a package. Lokho mhlawumbe nje so far nangibuka nje yini lokuhamba embili nje as a player kusho ukuthi nasophumile uphuma as a player or one time you can also uphume nje out of the country as a referee nasingathi nje kunema games esadak ikhona possibility ukuthi ungaphuma as a player uphinze uphume as a referee or as a coach.
Okay, nyalo ngiphuma as a coach because I've licensed D.
Okay.
IHF uvuma ukuthi if you gonna coach a national team ube ne license D.
Okay.
So nyalo ngiphuma as a coach as
of the national team.
As a national team coach.
Okay.
The last tournament lesaba nayo eZambia I was a national team coach. Yes.
But nasokhonile nawe uyaphenza udlala.
Kwanyalo ngingakhona if kungaba lengalingana nale age yami. Otherwise nyalo angisakhona because
okay, age group
ayisakuvumela.
So wenza kulo 20. So kubo masters. Now, thank you very much two of you, Mr. Mangaliso, as you can see on the pictures, the tournament of this past weekend and you Ngos. Before I let you go, passion yakho man ku rope skipping, ungayilahli na table tennis. Just kuvetera balanced bakho ukuthi you are still part of rope skipping. Still part of table tennis.
Yes, so long khona ka rope skipping, ka handball, gymnastics.
Okay.
Na a little bit of tennis. Yes.
Ikhona futhi table tennis weekend this weekend. Table tennis tournament this coming weekend.
Yes, ikhona all in Africa Center.
Yes.
Banifana labange past kwa 15 if ngisakhumbula kahle.
Okay.
Na ungamletha nje umfana wakho makakhona.
Okay.
Free to come.
Okay, cool.
Dobe kudlala table tennis, basketball ne soccer.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's bang to firstborn una 19 omunye na 15. Thank you very much for being with us Ngos. Siyabonga kakhulu lesikhathi senu. Coach, I think from the moment you entered the studio you came under the perception that you were a player but you are living here as a coach. Ngiyajabula license D akusimbo lencane. You went in class, wabhale exam and you worked for it. Thank you very much and siyathemba ukuthi saqhubeka nje ukuthi sikuthathe ukuthi bakusekele at least before you take this team to Zimbabwe because you're taking a national team. Wena nje as a coach of the national team is something that you should not take it for granted and thank you very much for your presence.
Yeah,
all right, there you have it, the two gentlemen, the two eye-catching future of the handball sport in the country were here in the studio just to give us a perspective. Dlamini was explaining how the sport now should be growing to the levels where they can continue and have a league and represent the country internationally. Coach Mangaliso also is highlighting how different issues have also been a stumbling block for them to make future plans. But make no mistake, they are yet to show you what they are capable of. Let's listen to some of the players of the handball sport. What is their reaction for the sport to be back to action? What are they saying? What are the needs? Are they excited? Do they feel like the sport should be played regularly as it should be? Listen to them. And when we come back, Linda Dlamini is going to be in my company to talk more about the sport.
Empeleni i-competition ihigh kakhulu nawubuka nje nebadlali lendlela labajabule ngayo ubona lendlela lebajumpa ngayo nalendlela abadlala ngayo kusho kona kujabulela le competition ngiko vele ngathi vele ihigh kangaka ngoba sonke sifuna lo mhlomelo.
Icathanisa neliviki eliphelile kuleli viki banifana noma ke badlali bethu bakhombisa lisasa salelikhulu ngoba ngiloyo ufuna ingoma ihambe naye because nemihlomelwanyana lesinayo ekugcineni ngiloyo ulwela ukuthi i-team yakhe ibe nema point lamaningi sijabule kakhulu i-turn out yabo i-improve from last time nyalo sinenombolo ecishe establish le viki eliphelile.
Pay your TV license quickly and easily with MTN Momo. Simply dial *007 *3 hash and select option 8 for TV license. Enter your national ID number as your reference and the amount you wish to pay. Then enter your PIN to confirm your payment. Once your payment has been made, you will receive a confirmation SMS of your payment. If you're a first-time payer, you get another SMS for your TV license. So legalize your entertainment from the comfort of your home. Pay your TV license the easy and convenient way with MTN Momo.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
We're still with you, Eswatini TV. So Verukona Dlamini, Linda Dlamini, aka Master, our in-house analyst. Nguvusele ngosi.
Fabrice ngiyabonga kungwele hlelweni lakho ngitithoba lokukhulu ngivusela imali viewers ngiyabona namhla ukuthi ungede emehlo Fabrice vele ngilomsebenzi uyatexa uyatexa kanti awudlali Fabrice but nje lokumcoka kakhulu Fabrice ngilothi sichubeke sinike wona imali viewers ema sports na handball le sports inkumbi ke abasadi le sport less sikhona la ekhaya siyadlalwa futhi ngalendlela lo sibona ngayo sitakabi.
All right. Mhlawumbe ngosi in the interest of time sibuka nje na cricket, maybe just move on from headball to cricket. Ba introduce B division. Le B division master nanguvu ngicazela ukuthi it's a sort of like i-national first division. Sine ka Premier League sine M10 Premier League sine national first division. Lokho kusho ukuthini emidlalweni wa cricket master?
Fabrice every league kuzito ba competitive uyadzinga ukuthi kube nabadlali laba winako because sport kube nama teams la ta relegator bangadlali nje ama teams athi ukuthi noma singadlala kabi ngeke si relegate le bahlali bakufayithela ke even nangala ku women football ukuthi akube nama teams la relegate wabo cricket ke kwentile lokho kunema teams bekudlala last month kuphele imidlalo ye league lebehlukaniswe ngama groups lang 2 lama teams labeka khona ku cricket bekangithola ku A division so le bottom 6 irelegatewe kwase kusongonyiswa iB division kwangitwa ke nalamanye ama teams so tsinyalo nje kulo B division la batawudlala la babe top 4 bayenyuka bona baya ka A bese kuthi ngale kwehla 2 because uthi lo mthetho ka ICC i-league kumele ukuthi at least ibe na 8 ama teams uyabona so if kwehla lo 2 ngale kwenyuka lo 4 kwakha lo 8 uyabona bayicela kahle i-league yabo so ngicabanga ukuthi yinto lenhle labayindile lo ema teams lafa ekhathi bona bo UNESWA arelegatiwe lafa bo cricket mbabane arelegatiwe are part of yona i-B division.
Beautiful stuff. Now, Masana sikhuluma nje nge-development ye-cricket even. I think they were one of the association even during COVID nabeva ukuthi sebana imvumo yokuba active. They have been trying. Ngiyakhumbula nje kune period bebadlala bethe sponsor but ngiyasebazami le B division nayo mhlawumbe master kumcwa kanganani ukuthi sibone le commitment lesibona ku A division.
Fabrice if now ungathi ubukisisa kahle lama games
Yes.
bongacabanga ukuthi ngi A division.
True.
The way the teams bekadlala ngayo la qale ngayo la kick off ngayo le B division so uyabona ukuthi onke lama teams afuna kubuyela ka A kusho Premier League wabo ngendlela la competitive ngayo ngendlela the players la timisele ngayo lathi afuna kubuyela ngayo ka B division yes mhlambe some of the techniques mhlambe vele kuseselikhonyana kodwa ngalendlela labadlali leshisekelo loyibona ukuthi baditshele kangakanani
The uniform, this is good.
Yes, this is good team yase UNESWA this is good kumele sikubone vele lokuthi team be uniform igqoka ibonakala ukuthi i team lehlelekile Fabrice nangayibeka kanjalo.
All right. There is so much order within the association, Cricket Association. Now, Zenzele Mazibuko is one of the development directors at the Eswatini Cricket Association. Apart from other people also we talk to, we just want to listen to the plan that Dlamini is explaining. Ukuthi kuba khona kwa B division, kumcwa kanganani ukuthi kufake mandla ukuthi ukuthi icricket yakuleli iphakame. Nangu Zenzele Mazibuko.
Namhlanje sicalisa B division yethu njengoba beshido ukuthi abanemacembu latawusuka ngale ku A division siba relegate aye ku B division the reason yaloko ukuthi sifuna kutama lokuphakamisa le standard ngoba nangale ku A division letocala soon kunema team langeke ende kahle atawehla abuye ngala ngendansi nangala nendansi latawenda kahle atawunyuka aye ngale ka A division so lokho kusiniketa ukuthi ibe competitive le league yethu in the sense ukuthi ukuthi umuntu ofuna kwehla ukuthi nemuntu lo ongafuni kunyuka so namuhla njengoba sesicalile imidlalo yethu yekucala sengibonile nje lokuthi sase halfway now lokuthi vele labantu bafisa ukuthi kahle ngakhona ukuthi bacishe kube bantu laba ku level efana nako so le ngiko ingathi iya enjoyeka kakhulu akusiko ukuthi sebashiyene kakhulu ngale tigaba noma ngale skill sabo abantu laba ku skill set lesifana nako so bayakhombisa ukuthi bayafuna lokunyuka bangahlali lana ka B division.
Nangimuva Mazibuko master yeah it's all about now sebaqinisile vele they ensuring kahle.
Fabrice, look at the teams la ka B division na ungathi uyalenzelisisa kahle ikhona I radio shop one of my teams longe kuzowathathele pass ikhona UNESWA le beyicitha kudlala ikhona i6ers ikhona I cricket mbabane lebese ngibalile ikhona Indian Warriors so uyabona ukuthi lama teams they are not just teams nje lothi ayefika emavukane but ma teams lawa ladlalile ku A division esikhashanyana leseats and nalabadlali labakhona because some of my players labakhona UNESWA nje inayo lophinza bengicoach lophinza bengimabhalane kule nhlangano yena Thwala part of yona le team so ngicabanga ukuthi even the players uyababona ukuthi le ndlela labajile ngathi abafuni ukuhlala isikhathi leseats bakule B division because ngale ngenhla kukunika even a chance yes nangala ka B bangabakhetha abadlali be national team but inqumo bo coach babuka kakhulu A division ukuthi baperforma kahle kanganani.
That is Mr. Dlamini, our in-house analyst. He was at the Country Cup in Malkens just to monitor, overseeing how things are happening within the Cricket Association and how they are trying to improve the sport. Now, from there, he moved to the Mafusa Sports Center, where the Athletic Association of Eswatini is in preparations for the national championships that will be taking place at the end of this month. Now, in their preparations, Master Wafika Wakanza in terms of of lama athletes singabuka kakhulu bongiwe Mahlalela bo Spesihle the elite athletes we know how they're doing but ngiyathi ukuthi liso lakho libuke kakhulu labo singathi ukuthi basachamuka endasi bazama ukuthi ligama labo nabo livele wafika master wabonani wakhanzana
Fabrice uma ngibuka sorry sengithi cricket i-Athletics Association the way labenda ngayo tindo uyabona ukuthi le leadership ikhona la ifuna kubheka khona nawubuka indlela laba hosting ngayo lama qualifiers because lawa bekuma qualifiers ama national champs lama national champs lataba khona ngicabanga in 2 weeks time uyabona so le ndlela lama athletics la tshelwe ngayo ukuthi uyadimisela even nalendlela la khoshwe ngayo uyabona not only the big guns even abadlali labasebancane uyabona indlela abadimisela ngayo all the athletes atimisele kodwa ke Fabrice sisakhuluma ngetimisela kunendlela benginotisile noma lebengigatsile on the day bengigatsa ukuthi ngibone ama record a breakwa yabona because as much as kuma qualifiers but lama records swagatsile ukuthi a break but sababona even some of ama athletes lamadzala Mlando was back after a while
long period,
yes angekho ematubaneni he was back weekend bosebenele babuyile now waiting ukuthi kuphele i suspension yakhe Thandaza yes but kancane Fabrice I'm happy but ke lokunye Fabrice lengimele ngungede kwaba nama athletes ase Mozambique badominate kakhulu and if bataba khona because bathembisa ukuthi bataba khona ama national champs
yes
but dominator futhi ngalendlela lengibone ngayo mina badominate ngayo kulama preps.
Now, they were from Mozambique, they were from, of course, a different country, which I think, Master, ngidemvule sitsinga ukuthi kufikela abantu abasifakela pressure in terms of a competition. Since once we're out of the country, we're able to compete. Beautiful pictures, of course, play that were, taken over the weekend, giving us a picture of how the preparations are going for the national championships. Knowing that the national championships are one of the biggest events, is actually the biggest event in the athletics industry in the country.
Number one Fabrice la he's from Mozambique Matakanka he's from Mozambique wakhona ukuthi ayishaye aphume phambili yona kule 400
meters,
so
yes,
kule 400 meters yes so ngicabanga ukuthi vele the Mozambicans they dominated kakhulu and le pressure nale competition labayilethako lakithi ngicabanga siseyidinga vele because kuma games angaphandle uyadinga ukuthi kube nebamvu labatakuqhamuka bafike bakufakela competition I was impressed by this lady okay kuna two wema males
okay
then a female abegijima nalama males naye she's from Mozambique yena Cecilia Gwambe look at the distance between the male and the female sincane kakhulu so ngicabanga ukuthi le competition basilethela vele
naka high jumping
bebakhona so ngicabanga ukuthi tonke lelanga nje langa emgcibelo laba lihle kakhulu nawuthanza ema athletics.
All right, beautiful stuff. We are watching as Mr. Dlamini took a visit at the Mafuso Sports Center. We had visitors from the Republic of Mozambique. Kusifakela nje kushisa kancane ukuthi sive ukuthi engabe labanye outside the country emathubane bayadlala kanjani. Now, I know how he is. I know how he operates. He did get a chance to talk to these international athletes from Mozambique, mixture of our local athletes, to get their views of how the qualifiers were. That's Mr. Dlamini interviewing some of the international athletes, including ours. Listen to them.
No, the competition was very tough, but so I need to manage umuntu atilungisa lapha nalapha to have a better time kuma national champs final.
I compete for 400 meters hurdles, and I'm fine. I'm very fine to completely and qualify for this event. It was good. It was a little distracting because of the false start, because that always messes with your head a bit, but it was good. I don't know if I can promise any medals, but for sure really good times. that could help me qualify for other competitions. But of course, I'll try and get first, second, or third.
Yes, namhla sinema build-ups, national championships. It's our second build-ups. Sengiqina lawa. Kusho ukuthi mawuhlulekile kuba khona kulawa ekuqala nawesibili vele ngeke usaba khona ama-national champs. Kutabe seke kuyarenkwa the top 16 ngiyele tawo yakuma-national championships. Kusho ukuthi ke la in terms of attendance siyajabula ngalokuthi inombolo iyabonakala tiningi. We had quite a number of athletes la bekhona la. Njengoba nibona nje bo 100 meters we had up to 6 hits. Onke agcwele lokusho ukuthi cha attendance ikhona.
Thoba Mazibuko, the Chief Operations Officer of the association, also applies as the secretary. Must move before we move on to other issues. Vele, it's going to be fire this year. But Master Singashogo, do you expect the biggest national championships? Now ubuka nje la elenhle singabuke nje ama athletes yangaphandle. Sibukela ama athletes yethu. The competition lekhona. Sekuthi ama Commonwealth. Sibafuna ukusivetela ukuthi baphetheni. Do you expect the biggest national championship kulo mnyaka?
Yeah, I must say Swakatsile, one of the biggest. But meaning ngawubona ukuthi the biggest after break my records. If my PPs, my personal best,
yes,
atawushaywa kulama national championships, ngicabanga ukuthi ngiyo indlela etangijabulisa. Sababona boSibusiso Matsenjwa on the day, sababona bomqinisele on the day, sababona bobongiwe on the day. But ke ngithite nangisuka sibuya khona kokwenda le storyless ngase sengibutwa ngilomunye wangibuta ngapho umlelenzinizi kanzi phela kuba senda story sakhe about a week ago kuthi ngeke azabe khona uthi azabuye kulomnyaka lotako the competitions yathi ukuthi nakunaye iba inkulu kanganani wavele basho ke vele ukuthi chothi ibongiwe mahlalelo uthambele kodwa not yet bangasho ukuthi sovele uhambile because the competition lengiyibonile from laba ngaphandle including ngibona laba seMozambique the ladies from Moza ngicabanga ukuthi besetulu kakhulu Fabrice. I'm happy even nalama local athletes there she is bongiwe mahlalela ana coach we national team Muzi Mabuza. Yes, ngicabanga ukuthi kunenge lesigatsile lama national champs Feb. I can't wait for umhla ka21.
All right. We can't wait for the biggest occasion in the athletic industry in the country. This coming 21st of May, it's going to be taking place, of course, at the Mofso Sports Center. Now, moving on, another thing that we can't wait for CAF just to kufana nokuthi ungivakashele sengithethe ituro endlini angibeke sengaphathizwe ngoba sebenza naye sengiyakuphathiza ukuthi maphathiza athi mase ungivakashele cela sihlale kakho. That's how we are ngoba uyetha Nyarutogo obviously Mozambique budlelwane South Africa budlelwane bulapho. So it's like that. Ungivakashele but you can't sit in my house.
In fact nje Fabrice
mingiyeka phathizo ngoba phathizo netituro mina ngithethe ituro.
In fact nje Fabrice kanjena ukuthi nangabe betakutolobola umvanami shonza wabambela kamakhelwane because ngide indlu yakagogo nangayibeka kanjalo. Kodwa ke Fabrice ngakusho lokhu ngaFebruary ngathi I doubt ukuthi batazivumela no sithi tabirate ukuthi batazivumela ukuthi because somhlolo yes ulungisiwe i-artificial turf ilungisiwe le track isakhiwa but not much lokwendiwe.
Uthini CAF nasibuka lethi thombe master? Okay thina sendeni yena Nyarutsini.
Okay info le shoda kwenyalo Fabrice because CAF siyathi ukuthi itinvo takhe yashintsha njalo almost every after 2 years.
Yes.
So nyalo bakhuluma ngama tunnels tunnels imele ukuthi aqalelwe phasi alungiswe even nema uyabona lapha kulama big screen lesihlale swabona kulala ama stadiums bayawadzinga lapha kaSomhlolo
lokwendeke ekhathe engudleni ku display ke
ibonakale lapha kulama screens.
Okay.
Yes, tinvo leti kanjalo Fabrice. So ngicabanga ukuthi thine sisemuva kancane because le tinvo leto kude ma tunnels akalungiswa. But I'm not sure if because njengoba ngisho ukuthi iCAF every after 2 years le tinvo takhe tiyashintsha mathayela akalungiswa kaSomhlolo. I want to believe ukuthi ku the next phase but awuchacha una mathayela kaSomhlolo bacela liphasi bawalungise. I want to believe kutakwendeka kanjalo Fabrice.
Suspended 30 million master. Even this is the media put rebooted. Suspended 30 million. Siplanela omunye 30 million.
Yeah, Fabrice, i-ministry ikhokile statement yasho ukuthi kuspendwe 30 million. But ke CAF njoba sisho ukuthi ufikile. But ke Fabrice ngicela kushonako because mina I say something without fear or favor.
Awufuna ukuthi
yes, i-ministry ngicabanga ukuthi isdribblile last week because we did a story last week Friday ngayo Somhlolo basho ukuthi basamele CAF kanzi ema officials CAF akhona la. Ngicabanga ukuthi le tinvo leto if without dribble media the same media lenisebenzisana nayo tinvo leto lekungakamele tendeke lo i-Minister of Sports nje ngicabanga ukuthi ibe offside kakhulu kuloko akamele ukuthi tendeke le tinvo
leto. Ngoba nawuthi last week Friday kusho sinamhla simhla ka 12.
Yes.
Last week Friday
bafika mhla ka 2. Mhla ka 2 bekunguma last Monday
after holiday.
Yes. Tuesday from Tuesday kuya kumhla ka ngalesihlanu senda ngaso le story but kwathiwa basamele ema officials aka CAF kanzi ama officials aka CAF already avele akhona. So ngicabanga ukuthi tinvo leto lekugcinga ukuthi bakulungise kakhulu kulelo office labo. But ke having said that Fabrice ngiva ngathi Somhlolo yes Somhlolo ukhona but we need a new stadium
afresh.
Yes, we need a new stadium. Somhlolo is
that's your feeling. We need a new stadium.
Yes, Somhlolo is our national stadium. Vele kutawubanjwa khona lekohlukahlukene tinkonzo nakufuna kubanjwa tinkonzo njengoba sibuya kuma Easter but we need a new stadium at least a 35,000 seater at least uyabona or maybe nasesehlulekile 20,000 seater.
All right. Uphinze uthinze kakho uthi uyathinzile mama options master lethi invite idzinga kakho uthi CAF invite yashintsha uvetinza bema tunnels ukuthi some of the reason why we didn't qualify uthinze ama screens. Okay, I think these are the things we mentioned master. Don't you think uthi mhlawumbe by the time CAF abuya again kutawuphinza kale ngaletinye tinvo ukuthi mhlawumbe kufune maybe sibe neli hotel cards tinvo tikanjalo
tinvo letfaka ema hotel Fabrice tinvo letibukwa koleto kuthiwa around the stadium akhona ema hotel umgwaqo kuyahambeka invele airport kuyahambeka yini because nakafikile ama guests kumele ehle airport ashesha afike kuma hotel ashesha afike stadium tinvo leti kanjalo yatibuka FIFA ema hotel akhona ezulwini la mathutane na Somhlolo unfortunately airport is a scope about away from Somhlolo but ngicabanga ukuthi le tinvo leto kugcinga ukuthi Fabrice because besati ukuthi CAF uyashintsha
yes
uyabona
sibene in other way you had a chance kumbuta ukuthi kukhona yini office ukuthi
sekungede because kuyashintsha le tinto asho ke CAF uthi senwalungisele ma tunnel because nasifika sitawafuna ama tunnels ukuthi alungiswe because la ma tunnel lawa madzala vele
nalinile nje kuyali
in fact vele nalinile la ma tunnels akhambeke so ngicabanga ukuthi vele we need a new stadium unfortunately vele timali kude uyabona but stawutsini but ke sivile kuthiwa kutawungeta lomnye 30 million achubeke nekulungiswa Somhlolo.
All right, we know how this issue is very sensitive to others knowing the much loved venue of Somhlolo National Stadium. We had hoped that the remaining 5 games of MTN Premier League will be played at Somhlolo National Stadium but who knows, we could wait for another 5 to 6 years. There's a lot to talk about around this issue but it's the story for another day. Talk about Sihlangu that now has to play for qualifiers, teams like CAF competitions we still have to go to Mbombela or other venues, alternative venues, so a lot is at stake but for Coast some of the expertise believe that at least 1 to 2 billion emalangeni is what is needed for the same venue, new stadium that Masa is talking about. 1 to 2 billion emalangeni is what we need as a country to build a new stadium afresh of at least 30 to 35,000 capacity. Now moving on, capacity is needed in what is called MTN Premier League. Remaining 4 games master, they are going to be very key. Leopard, they won over the weekend, Seati. But these games that played midweek, singasho ukuthi kunama games bekufanele adlale past weekend, but due to Simo Seltur Master kwagcina nje ku postpone, and they were played midweek. Quickly, let's talk about Green Mamba Morning Pirates. Were you shocked, Master, ngale results 2-1 Morning Pirates getting points?
Yes, I was shocked for Pristina ubuka ukuthi iGreen Mamba before last weekend before I cancel le game babalida 2-0 bafika Big Ben baluza 2-1 ngicabanga ukuthi it's a big win for Morning Pirates naye coach Tembela because shilo ukuthi nyalo say survival of the fittest so kuyadzinga ukuthi kubonakala ukuthi wena sifuba sakho sikhulu kanganani iprovile ke Morning Pirates ayiwina that big win against yona iGreen Mamba ngicabanga for iGreen Mamba ngasho ke Fabrice on Monday ukuthi kutawudzinga ukuthi if ngikhonile ukudadisha mina ukuthi udlale kanjani ngeweekend ngicabanga ukuthi laba endile homework iMorning Pirates ikhonile kenda le homework yabuya yamsha 2 goals yayithola iGreen Mamba that 1 goal but that wasn't enough ukuthi bangawina igame.
Yeah, now they have moved to 11th place with 18 points, 28 points. Now Mbabane Swallows faced Tabanguru Keris. Tabanguru Keris, Master, it's one of the teams that singasho ukuthi bemekahle, but on the day they lost 1-0 to Mbabane Swallows. Ngivile ukhuluma na coach ngale importance of experienced players, Master, ukuthi nawubuka nje the free kick itself. Ungayijudge uthini, Master? It was the free kick that awarded the goal, the free kick, but what was the fault at hand that side?
Fabrice ema experienced players lesinye isikhathi uyawadzinga ukuthenga Rafaela 1 kulesinye isikhathi uyawadzinga ukuthi ba uyabona Fabrice ema rebound goalkeeper nakende isave uyadzinga abadlalile abatawuhlakanipha bafigijime bayothola leyo rebound okwendile njabulo lokho because nawubuka ukuthi ema defenders eThabankulu Kellis bamile babukelela goalkeeper uyabona about 3 of players eMbabane Swallows asekhathi noma ngimuphi umdlali lapha ngolikorile le goal so ngicabanga ukuthi iMbabane Swallows the big players at the moment they are proving ukuthi kuyabasebenzela. Yes, Thabankulu Kellis badlalile angeke bese sesicembe manga Fabrice badlalile kakhulu uyabona ukuthi coach Nuro ubadrilile the team because bese bayizama nale power play nayoshilo bese bayizama nale power play even nalama changes simanga ungenile naye wayishintsha game wathola lawo chances but otherwise it was a big win for yona iMbabane Swallows.
All right, big win. What it matters is 3 points. We don't need 6 goals or 7. 3 points is what at stake. Nguvile Monday uchaza ukuthi come next week Monday utasitshela ukuthi kuwina bani league kurelekethwa ba. Now at Galaga Stadium in Stegi, it was a titanic clash, of course, for some of the teams like Mbalandi and Mbabane Highlanders. Supporters who came in their numbers, Master buka lange thulu nje kunebantu abahlele. That is also something that Kafula ngakayifune, Master. Buka nje indlela abahlele ngayo. That is so not on for a Premier League match.
Yeah, it's in a Fabrice technical center in the stadium. Kanzi that not a stadium vele, that's a technical center.
Fana ukuthi nje iCamero ngalenda sitting room.
Uyabona uthona iCamero selitawa sitting room. But ke Fabrice atholene lamaqembu njoba usho ukuthi ama fans bekaphumile midweek bongacaba ukuthi mhlawumbe kutaba bethe ama fans uyabona but aphumile igame lebe seyiphindwa vele. Igame le yadlala weekend both teams bekadlala but iMalandi Chiefs dominator even kule game le nawubuka but ke Fabrice ngiyakhala kakhulu nge-technical bench eMbabane Highlanders lokhu ndokusho again and again and again because nawubuka i-starting 11 sayo eMbabane Highlanders midfield yes bekabuyele Menzi abuyele yena Mdolo yes but banele siyamathi banele ukuthi kuma big games uqhamuka kanganani ladzingeka khona kakhulu uqhamuka kanganani but ke let's talk about this goal again and again and again sikhuluma how to defend a set piece yabona near post that's one kumele ukuthi kube nebantu far post kumele ukuthi kube nebamvu uyabona so but asikakuboni lokhu yakora iMalandi Chiefs lengicaba ukuthi deserve lokulithola because
Bafake i-pressure, yes.
le pressure beyifaka kakhulu even the chances lamaningi iMalandi Chiefs beyiwathola. Look at this chance. That's a half chance.
That's a half chance.
Yes, that's a half chance. But wakhona ukuthi aseve yena Kanyagezo goalkeeper umbona Highlanders.
It was a tough game on the day, of course. Dominating first half, Malandi, we can see the saves that were made by Kanyagezo. But the first half ended on a draw, 1-1. We see the goal scored by, Mbabane Highlanders. But Master, you talked about depth, as we can see that Mbabane Highlanders supporter in isolation there. You talked about depth. That's a beautiful finish. Do you think maybe they are lacking also number? They don't have maybe enough squad now competition kule partner Mbabane Swallows. Guthi namuhla now lose a key player kumbabane Highlanders like Moloto no Mascad. You don't have a quick replacement longamuletsa as we can see.
But before ngikhulume ngeMbabane Highlanders, asengikhulume ngeMalandi Chiefs for because ongala magol na uthi uyabuka ukuthi angene nini. First goal naseto phela if first half.
Yes.
Emagol lamabili eMbabane Highlanders at the time. The lapses in concentration.
Yes.
How to manage
the game.
The game, how to kill a game.
Was this a penalty?
Uyabona. So ngicaba ukuthi
the soft. But it's a penalty.
Nothing like a soft penalty. That was a penalty for me. That was a penalty.
And there's an experienced ref on the day.
But ke Fabrice ngilengisho ngikhala kakhulu ngumanager yona igame. If u lead 3-1 ku 90 minutes. But iMbabane Highlanders ifike ikore 2 goals equalize. We manage kanjani game. In fact the goalkeeper mina goalkeeper ngimsola kakhulu Fabrice kule game le because man that's a good free kick. That's a good free kick.
I think there was a touch from Kanyagezo just to push it to the post. Yes.
Ngithi ngikhala kakhulu nga goalkeeper uMalandi Chiefs because at 89 noma 90 ubamba ibhola ujaka kuyishaya. Ubamba ibhola ujaka kuyishaya. Why? Because ulita 3-1. Uyabona.
How lapses of concentration also of defense Mbabane Highlanders. You are going to play Leopard over the weekend. You make such silly mistakes as a defense.
Ngikhala kakhulu vele. Ngikhala kakhulu ngemarking yayo because about 2 wema defenders they are ball watching inside the box because nabuka ukuthi le ball le beyipass kanganani le header beyipass kanganani. One of ema defenders ayo iMbabane Highlanders ngabe uyiclearishile le ball even nabo banawo lawo ma mistakes the lapses in concentration kuma crucial moments yabona kanzi akukameli ukuthi kwendeke lokho.
Saves were made on different areas, but as we touched on a lapse of concentration, the two sides at some point, were working on their Scali.
Look at how Scali bekasaqala kudlala ka Fabrice.
Yes.
Kule chance le. Yes, ma appeals bekase penalty, but Scali kakhulu abesa holder le bola anike badlali abalanga emuva. Most of the time besa holder vele because the gameplay noma the game plan beyigcile kakhulu la kuye so bese kumele ukuthi ashintshe the gears asuke from number 3 gear number 3 afake number 4 lokuholda le bhola ngidlalise labangilandzelako la ngemuva ngibaflickele ekhathi mina ngingatholakala lapha ekhathi eboxini ngithi eceleni kancane lengicabanga ukuthi is one of those players laba clever yena Scali.
Was it an offside, Master? Maybe to one would think.
No, that's not an offside because ngihlale ngisho Fabrice offside wabekisa ngale line lale 6 penalty area box. Yes, ubekisa ngalo if the last defender alidutana nale line than nalo akusi penalty.
Offside. One would have thought maybe Scott was supposed to be selfish there, but he tried to pass the keeper. There was a deflection and things changed. This is the last few minutes. Look at
Banel asaqala wangenela yena sticker le game asazama la midfield awathola lawo ma passes bana imenzi labamkhokha menzi ku last weekend the first game yes
but he's back in his own form.
Look at Banel look at those passes for Chris and lo mdlali umgcina isikhathi lesithe ebenchini a player like him you can't just bench na Mazibuko there Bubesi he should have done better. Yes, he should have done better. Umdlalo weMalandi Chiefs lengicabanga una experience
Scarred being scarred.
Yes, Carl being Scarly, that's a good save also. I must say. And njoba ngisho Fabrice uthi bese ishintshile lendlela Highlanders libedlala ngayo. Bese ibona ukuthi iyalifuna iligoli yagcina ilitholile.
This is the mind of someone who's looking to win the league, but was it enough on the day, Mas? Looking at the caliber of the team, they should have won this game.
Fabrice, you don't concede 3 goals. Ngalesikhathi lesi kusele 4 games. No, you don't. But for Imalandi Chiefs, ngicabanga say i-homework yabo bayenda kakhulu. For me, better kule game le ba prepared more than Imbabane Highlanders.
Biggest game of the title chase this coming weekend as we look at the fixture master. We'll rush to second one. Mbabane Swallows, Young Buffaloes. Oof.
Yeah.
Number 3, number 4.
Yeah, tough. Very tough game. Mbabane Swallows, they're yet to lose a game. About 8 games. So we are born Young Buffaloes nabo. Bawashaya magoli. So ngicabanga this is a very big fixture, very difficult to predict. Yeah.
Okay, number 2, number 1, Highlanders Leopard.
Nale inkulu kakhulu Fabrice. Mbabane Highlanders, yes, abakadlali kahle against Malandi Chiefs, but they need to win this one. It's a must win game for them. Royal Leopard on the other side nabo emagoli bawashaya njoba sibonile ukuthi last weekend bakhona ukuthi bawina nga3 amagoli and bawina convincingly, so nayo it's a very difficult to predict, but kule Mbabane Highlanders no Royal Leopard mina nginika iRoyal Leopard le Mbabane Swallows ne Young Buffaloes a draw.
Bekuhle kakhulu kuba nawe Nkosi sikuvalelisa.
Ngibonga mina Fabrice, ngibona malwel viewers.
They have it. He's going to make sure that this coming weekend also you get the best information on how things were unfolding at the different venues. Mbabane Swallows will be playing against Young Buffaloes, number 3, number 4, and Mbabane Highlanders against Royal Leopard, number 1, number 2. We're going to get an idea, probably where the league is heading for the remaining 4 games. Until we meet again, Sithala Kamanasi.